or auth, or IDC, so. Three terms that get used interchangeably in stand-ups, in design docs, and, fatally, in interviews. And here is why the confusion persists. The question itself is malformed. Asking whether you should use OAuth or IDC or SSO is like asking whether you should use a key, a passport, or convenience. They are not three options on a menu. They are three different kinds of thing. So this episode is not another explanation of how each one works. We have done that. This is a decision episode. 9 concepts, and by the end you will be able to look at any requirement and say, in one sentence, exactly which of these you need and why. Plus the 4 exact interview questions and the sentences that answer them. Watch how this plays out in real life. A product manager says, we need SSO with Google. An engineer hears SSO, reaches for auth because that is the library everyone knows, wires it up, gets an access token back from Google, decides that the fact Google issued a token must mean the user is who they say they are, and creates a session. It works. It demos beautifully. It ships. And it is vulnerable, because an access token is not proof of identity, and a token issued to a completely different application can, under the right circumstances, be handed to yours and accepted. This is not a theoretical concern, it is a bug class that has hit real, large companies. And it happened because 3 concepts got flattened into one word. So before you can choose, you have to see clearly what each one actually is. First up, the cheat sheet. If you remember nothing else, remember this slide. 3 sentences. OAuth 2.0 is authorization. It lets an application do something on your behalf, without your password. What you can do. IDC is authentication. It tells an application who you are, using a signed ID token, and it is built as a layer on top of OAuth. Who you are. SSO is an experience, authenticate once with a central provider, and get into many applications without logging in again. How many times you log in? Look at those 3 answers. What you can do. Who you are. How many times you log in. They are answers to 3 completely different questions. And that is why versus is the wrong word. You very often want all 3 at once. Number 2. Why comparing them at all is a mistake, and how to say so. Here is the structural point that most candidates miss. OAuth is a protocol, a specification, with endpoints and message formats that you can go and read. IDC is also a protocol, another specification, which sits on top of the first one. But SSO is neither. SSO is an outcome. There is no SSO specification. You cannot download so. You build SSO, and you build it using a protocol, either IDC, or SAML, or in an older system something like Kerberos or CAS. So the relationship is not 3 siblings competing. It is, IDC extends OAuth, and SSO is a thing you achieve by using IDC or SAML. If an interviewer asks you to compare OAuth, IDC and SSO, the strongest possible opening is to point out that the first 2 are protocols and the third is a property, and then explain how they stack. That single observation signals that you actually understand the space rather than having memorized a table. Third, the case where plain OAuth, with no identity at all, is exactly the correct answer. Use OAuth on its own when your application needs to touch someone else's API on the user's behalf, and you genuinely do not care who the user is. Concrete example, a scheduling tool that adds events to your Google Calendar. It already knows who you are. You signed up with an email and a password months ago. What it needs now is permission to write to your calendar. So it runs an OAuth flow, gets an access token scoped to calendar right, stores it, and uses it. It never asks Google who you are, and it should not. Another, a CI system that needs to push a status check to your GitHub repository. Another, a backup tool that reads your Dropbox. In every case, identity is already established locally, and the only thing missing is a delegated key to an external API. That is precisely and only what OAuth is for. If someone tells you OAuth is a login protocol, they are wrong, and this slide is why. On to the fourth. When you want a login and nothing more. Use OIDC on its own when you want people to log into your application using an account they already have somewhere else, and you have no interest whatsoever in their data at that provider. The classic, a login with Google button on a consumer web app. You do not want their Drive files, you do not want their calendar, you do not want their contacts. You want a verified identity and an email address so you can create an account and stop managing passwords yourself. So you ask for the opened, profile and email scopes, you get back an ID token, you validate it, signature, issuer, audience, expiry, nonce, you read the subclaim as the user's permanent ID, and you create your local session. You will also receive an access token, because OIDC rides on OAuth. But if you are not calling any Google API, you simply discard it. And the payoff is enormous. You now never store a password, never run a password reset flow, and never appear in a credential stuffing breach. For most consumer applications, this is the single highest leverage security decision available. Number 5. What you are actually buying when you say so. You need SSO when there are multiple applications, one population of users, and one organization that wants central control over who gets in. That is almost always an enterprise or an internal platform. Notice that SSO is not something you switch on, it is a shape you build. You stand up a central identity provider, you point every application at it, and you make sure they all delegate authentication rather than doing it themselves. And now ask the crucial follow-up, which protocol do those applications speak to the IDP? If you are building the applications and they are modern, OIDC. If you are selling software into large enterprises whose identity teams standardized a decade ago, SAML, and you will not win that argument, so budget for it. Also notice what SSO adds beyond the protocol: central MFA, central policy, one audit trail, and one switch to offboard someone. Those are organizational capabilities, not protocol features. They are the actual reason anyone buys so. 6 of 9. The specific mistake that turns a working integration into a vulnerability. This is the one to be able to explain cold, because it is the most common security question in this entire area. The broken pattern: an app runs a plain OAuth flow, receives an access token, calls some profile endpoint with it to fetch the user's email, and then logs the user in as whoever that email says. The flaw is that an access token is a bearer credential for an API, it is not addressed to your application, and nothing in it says which application it was issued to. So an attacker who runs their own perfectly legitimate app, gets a user's access token from the same provider, and then hands that token to your app, can have your app fetch a profile and log them in as that user. It is called the confused deputy problem, and Facebook, Google and others all had to publish guidance about it. The fix is precise, and it is exactly why OIDC exists. Use the ID token, not the access token, and check that its audience claim equals your client ID. The ID token is addressed to you. The access token is addressed to the API. Getting an identity from an access token is reading someone else's mail and believing it. 7. 3 questions that decide it for you. Here is how you actually decide in about 30 seconds. Question 1. Do I need to call someone else's API on the user's behalf? If yes, you need a auth. It is unavoidable. That is what it is for. Question 2. Do I need to know who the user is from an external provider? If yes, you need OIDC, and specifically you need the ID token, not the access token. Question 3. Is this one user population across several applications, with one organization wanting central control? If yes, you are building SSO, and OIDC or SAML is your wire format. Now notice the answers are not exclusive. A very common real answer is yes, yes, and yes. An enterprise app that logs users in through the company IDP with OIDC achieves SSO because every other internal app does the same, and also asks for a drive scope so it can attach documents. All three, one flow, one trip to the provider. Versus was always the wrong framing. Almost there. Number 8. The two terms that get dragged into this comparison and do not belong. Two more words get thrown into this argument, and they belong on a different axis entirely. SAML is a protocol, like OIDC. It is an alternative way to achieve SSO, older, XML-based, enterprise entrenched. So SAML versus OIDC is a legitimate comparison. SAML versus auth is nearly a category error, because they were built to answer different questions. And SAML versus SSO makes no sense at all, because SAML is one of the things you use to build SO. Then JWT. A JWT is not a protocol at all, it is a data format. A signed JSON object. OIDC's ID token happens to be a JWT. Many auth access tokens happen to be JWTs, though they are permitted to be opaque strings instead. Your own homegrown session token might be a JWT with no auth or OIDC anywhere inside. So JWT versus auth is like asking XML versus HTTP. Different layer. When an interviewer mixes these up, and they sometimes do, calmly separating the layers is a very strong signal. The final one. The 4 questions they actually ask, and the sentences that answer them. Let me hand you the actual sentences. Question. What is the difference between OAuth and OIDC? Answer. OAuth is authorization. It grants an app delegated access to an API. OIDC is a thin authentication layer on top of it that adds an ID token saying who the user is. OAuth is what you can do. OIDC is who you are. Question. Is SSO the same as OIDC? Answer. No, those are different kinds of thing. OIDC is a protocol. SSO is a property you achieve by having many applications delegate authentication to one identity provider, usually over OIDC or SAML. Question. Why can I not just use an access token to log people in? Answer. Because an access token is not addressed to my application, it has no audience I can verify, so a token minted for someone else's app could be replayed at mine. That is a confused deputy problem, and it is exactly the gap the ID token closes. Question. When would you pick SAML over OIDC? Answer. When the customer's enterprise identity team requires it, which is most large enterprises. For anything greenfield or OIDC, it is simpler, safer, and it actually works on mobile. 4 questions. Say those 4 things clearly and you will be in the top decile of candidates on this topic. So, one last time, the whole thing in 3 lines. OAuth, what you can do. OIDC, who you are. SSO, how many times you have to log in. 2 of those are protocols and 1 is an outcome, which is why versus was always the wrong word, In a real enterprise application, you will frequently want all three in a single flow. And the one thing you must never do, never treat an access token as proof of identity. It was not issued to you. It has no audience you can check. And accepting it is accepting someone else's mail as your own. Use the ID token, verify the audience, and you have closed the most common hole in this entire space. That is the identity arc, JWT, or IDC, SSO, and now the map that connects them. If it helped, subscribe. We are working through the whole backend interview surface, one concept at a time.